This episode is brought to you by Mack Weldon Clothing.
Mack Weldon Clothing.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, a very special Christmas episode of the Weekly Planet, because it's released around Christmas. That's probably the only Christmas thing about this, though.
Let me think.
The greatest gift of all podcasting.
Absolutely. Are you filled with the Christmas spirit of podcasting?
We're having two Christmases. We're doubling up.
Me and you.
Yes, that's right.
You mean your family?
My family. We're doing my family, and then the following day we're doing Claire's family. So that's good at my house, both of them. So that's really good. That hasn't ruined just the last 2 weeks of my life and probably the following 2 weeks of cleanup. It's good. I'm really excited.
You think your dad's going to cause a ruckus?
You know what he's like.
Yeah, I know what he's like for sure.
Yeah.
He's going to break some stuff.
He's got a Christmas spirit, but it's of the Grinch.
He's gonna dive into that above ground pool.
That's right.
That inflatable pool you've built.
Those people that joke will come full circle later. We've already recorded the ad.
It's a flash forward.
That comes in later. Yeah. What about you? What are you doing? Family?
Family, my family have moved out to Geelong, which is it's like a little Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's like a little,
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
little worst Melbourne.
little worse Melbourne. So if I'm not working, which I may very well be,
Yeah.
I'll pop down there, I think.
All right,
yeah.
that sounds good.
Pretty good.
And if you want another Christmas Mason, feel free to swing by.
for sure.
Yeah.
I could swing by it any day I choose, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Also, this is a show where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. And my name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me as always, my co-host Nick Mason.
I'm here too.
I topped it off. There we go.
Nice.
Mason, big news this week. Big movies this week. It's all happening.
That's right.
Should we get into everybody's favourite topic on Twitter this week?
Ooh, I've been on Twitter this week. I haven't noticed it. What was it?
Will Smith's Aladdin.
Oh, is that the big topic?
He's not Aladdin. Well, it's probably some more Trump stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly Trump stuff, yeah.
But if we had to steer away from that for the sake of entertainment purposes, I mean, the bloody media is a bloody circus and the politics is a bloody circus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But so Guy Ritchie's Aladdin is bloody Will Smith's The Genie, and people didn't like it. I mean, it's not a great photo.
Well, according to Will Smith's, I believe it's Will Smith's Instagram, but it may be a Photoshop because I didn't do my own research. He's apparently saying that the genie is mostly blue.
Yes, yeah.
But he's in disguise mode here. But I would not be surprised if the reaction to him as regular Will Smith is so bad that they went back into the studio and were like, we're going to make it blue.
Fix this. Yeah.
Will, say you're blue for most of this. We'll do it. We'll fix it.
I don't know. It's probably too late. I don't know when this movie's out. We'll talk about it in our most anticipated movies in a couple of weeks or whenever we do that episode. But I mean, he does have a human form if you've seen the movie, which I don't think you have. Yeah, but it's not anything like that. But little bells on the beard, I think. Weird top knot.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a promo photos for generally don't look good for anything.
That's true. Yeah. And it's. You know, it's movie magic. It's not still photography magic.
Yes.
In a lot of cases, a still image does not look great. It looks very...
I mean, if you look at the first Heath Ledger Joker reveal, he's just in front of a grey background and he's just got a knife. It doesn't, without context, it just looks like a really terrible cosplay.
For sure, yeah.
Or a pretty good cosplay, actually.
I think Will Smith's character would look good against a grey background holding a knife. Imagine if that was the first promo image for him. What direction's this character
You've
going?
never had a friend like me, you bitch!
That's right.
Yeah. Guy Ritchie,
Say it!
Yeah. Yeah. It's. Do you reckon they're going to be ladding about like a Guy Ritchie film?
Ladding about.
Thank you. That's good. I can't believe I didn't make that joke.
I can't believe it either. I kind of thought you were heading towards that joke, and I decided I'd head you off at the pass.
I was nowhere near it, so I'm glad you did. Yeah, do you think it's because you haven't seen Guy Ritchie's King Arthur or any of that?
No, nor have I seen Disney's Aladdin, so I don't know where this could go. This is a mystery for me. Yeah. Do you think, could they be ladding about? No, see, that's the thing, because the last few Guy Ritchie things I've seen have been absolutely minimal Guy Ritchie, it feels. I saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
There was barely any Guy Ritchie in that.
Yeah.
I guess there was some weird montages to music that's like bum, 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 bum,
oh yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Bum, bum. There'll be none of that in Aladdin, surely.
I'd imagine not.
They'll be like, the stuff you do, don't do any of it.
Yeah.
Did you see King Arthur?
Yeah, I did.
How'd
we
that
talked
go?
about it.
Oh.
It's a good plane movie. It's not terrible. I don't think it's. I equate it to Robin Hood of this year.
Okay, which I quite liked. All right, maybe I will give it a whirl. I won't. I never will.
Do you need to?
I never ever will.
Well, speaking of King Arthur, we saw a trailer for Little Boy King Arthur.
Oh, the kid will be king. Yeah,
I had no idea this movie was coming out. Young adult novel where a boy he gets the sword and maybe Merlin's his mate from school or something. I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
And Patrick Stewart's in it.
Yeah, I was sitting in the trailer thing. I was like, someone's going to pop up in this. It's gonna be like, oh, he's
Bill
Michael Caine or Bill Nye.
Yeah,
and then, oh no, it's of course.
I feel Bill Nye's too scary to be part of a children's film.
You're probably right. Yeah, I think he's probably been in a children's film though.
He's probably in Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something.
Yeah. Speaking of, I think that Wimpy Kid, the new Wimpy Kid, was in Bumblebee, which we'll talk about in a bit. Okay. I don't know that. I haven't seen any of those movies, including the reboots. Anyway, Aladdin. Who cares?
I certainly don't care. I don't know if I can extend that to everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Many of whom have seen Aladdin and love Aladdin. But as someone who hasn't seen it,
it's weird because I think people were thrown because the first trailer is recognizable stuff from the first movie, like the Cave of Wonders and the lamp and all those and the music and Agrabah, and then this is just like looks like Kazam. So
it does look a little like Kazam.
So I think that's what threw people.
I'm just gonna let the dog in.
Oh. I'll sit here.
Okay, cool.
Who let the dog in? Mason did. The dog's in the room. Dog's in the room now. Mason, let the dog in the room.
Come here, dog. Get in here. Get in here.
It's bloody. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of commotion in the background this episode because we're filming smack bang in the middle of the day. And my house is a flurry with Christmas spirit.
It sure is.
And by that, I mean stress.
Yep.
So if you just hear Claire swearing in the background, wrestling with a hose, just don't worry about it.
There's a legion of cats attacking the house and she needs to spray them all away.
there's also, because she keeps moving stuff and touching spiders, so you might just hear her screaming. That's what happens in Australia. I don't think that's just an Australian thing, but if you leave something for like a month and then move it, there's probably a spider.
Probably at least a spider under it. You're absolutely right, yeah.
Yeah.
She was very intently raking leaves or raking your front porch as I got here. I gave her the scare of a lifetime. I said, I'm going to kill you, Claire! I didn't do that. I didn't do it.
Did the Doom Patrol teaser trailer give you the scare of a lifetime, Mason? Or were you like, this is a fun thing?
It looked fun to me.
It did look a bit fun.
Apparently, because we don't have the Titans TV series here yet.
I said I was going to watch that episode and I didn't. And
we're going to get it in January. So
too late.
But apparently there's a Doom Patrol episode in there.
Yeah.
And it's considered by some to be the highlight of this season.
Wait, so the episode has aired already?
Yep. The season's done.
Oh, sorry. There's a Doom Patrol episode within Titans.
Yes.
With these characters.
Introducing the Titans.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know how many have carried over to this. I don't know if there's new characters in this trailer.
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser, yeah.
Is it Fraser or Fraser?
It's Fraser.
Fraser.
We discussed this last episode. It's Fraser because there's no I. Okay. But Frasier has an I.
Fraser?
No, it is not. It's not.
Okay.
Everyone who says Brendan Fraser is wrong.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Is it Alekia Silverstone or Alecus Silverstone?
It's Alexi Silverstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to the one where Brendan Fraser was in a bunker since the 60s.
Oh, Blast from the Past, yeah.
They were both in that, weren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, what were you saying? A different thing?
He did a lot of displaced man in time.
Yeah, Monkey
movies.
Bone.
Encino Man. The thing we just said.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think of this trailer?
What are we talking? Doom Patrol. Okay.
It feels like they're going with a bit of Legion.
Yes.
Again, displaced from time. Where is this set? We don't really know.
I mean, around Titans, I assume.
Around Titans, the modern day, probably.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's... Look, I hope this is weird as far as, in the tradition of Doom Patrol since the 80s, where it's just very strange and odd.
Yeah.
Because I don't want another straight-ahead superhero TV series necessarily.
Because isn't there 1,000 of those at the moment?
There really is 1,000 of those,
Okay, cool, yeah.
But if it's in the style of kind of Legion and oddness and just general weirdity, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Cyborg was in this.
No, I either didn't know that or I've forgotten.
Because I don't feel he's traditionally in the Doom Patrol.
But they need some recognisable faces, Mason.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They need to bring some hits over from the movies. That's what you do to get your show off the ground. You take the most iconic character from the most iconic DC
With the most iconic scene and the most iconic line, and you put him in the show.
What do you think of the costume? People are saying it's better because it looks
the cyborg
like
costume.
like a
kind of. It does look pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what I do like is that and maybe they'll address this and maybe they won't.
And maybe you don't like it.
Maybe I don't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe I've never even seen it, but that Cyborg has spent, since he's been transformed into Cyborg, he's like, oh, I'm a monster, I'm this machine, I'm more machine than man, this is horrifying. And then he's going to meet Robot Man, who's just a brain in a... he's a brain in a weird steampunk clockwork man,
Yeah.
It's a bit of a reality check, if you ask me.
But is he having a better time with it, though?
He seems to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know. Because given that we haven't seen this Doom Patrol episode...
Yeah, and I haven't read any Doom Patrol ever. I don't think so. I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping it's weird and good.
Me too.
Yeah.
Probably won't be. Next up, we've got...
What if it is, though?
Yeah, it could be. I know.
It's got Timothy Dalton in it.
Yeah, that's good.
He's bouncing in between genre TV series. He was in Penny Dreadful, and now he's in this. Yeah.
I never saw any of that either. Isn't that good to a point?
I like Penny Dreadful.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, I've heard that. And Josh Hartnett's apparently really good in it also. And what's her name? Eva Green, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sean Levy, who you might know from Night of the Museum, the trilogy.
I don't.
The Google movie where two dads work at Google.
I don't. Is that the Owen Wilson
yes.
one? Okay, no, I don't.
Are they even dads in that? Or are they cool, single, 42-year-old
They're
dudes?
absolutely that.
Okay, good.
Imagine Vince Vaughn being like, no, he wouldn't... No one would dare make him a single dad.
He was a dad.
He'd be a cool single dude forever.
He was a dad in old school.
Was he?
Yeah, he had a kid and he'd take earmuffs and he'd cover the kid's ears or whatever. Remember that movie?
Sort of.
It was every dickhead's favourite movie for about 8 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
Including most of my friends.
Yeah, and then it was The Hangover.
Yeah, then it was The Hangover, yeah. He also did Real Steel. Remember that, where Hugh Jackman taught a robot to love and/or box?
I remember the movie itself.
It's okay.
I haven't seen it.
From memory.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit Bumblebee, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Anyway, director Sean Levy, he's left the Uncharted film, the one that Tom Holland is starring in. So,
definitively he's starring in that?
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah,
okay,
that's real.
Okay.
You thought it was a joke. You thought it was a bloody gaff, Mason.
I did think that.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's a real thing that may not be happening now, depending. Okay, fine. I do kind of like the Tom Holland casting because there is younger Nathan Drake stuff in the games. You kind of cut back to.
Right, so there's scope to him to age up to... I don't think Tom Holland is going to turn into that guy.
Tom Holland is going to look like he looks now for the next 15 years.
Great,
at least.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess they're just going to run with that the whole time. But
that's roids.
Yeah, all roids. But also he's not a tall guy either. So I feel like there's only so big he can get.
Height roids.
Height roids.
Height roids are new, aren't they?
Well, isn't there that thing you can get if you go to certain parts of Asia where they extend your
Look. What is your kid doing?
No, Claire's spraying down the glass, but the window's open, so she's just soaked the floor in the inside. It's absolute Christmas madness out there.
Absolutely. There's nothing more traditional than spraying your what do you call that? Your patio?
Yeah.
Just spray down a patio. Just spray down but it's a sort of an indoor patio that shouldn't be sprayed down.
Definitely not.
But it's very traditional for Christmas.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? Uncharted.
Sean Levy, Uncharted.
Oh, no, there's a thing you can do where they extend your legs.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they did in Gattaca.
It involves breaking your legs.
They put it in your shins and then they put screws in and you turn it like 0.5 millimeter a day and you can get an extra 2 or 3 centimeters onto your height.
Wild.
I think you run weird because your legs are slightly longer than...
You become disproportionate. I'm by no means a tall man, but I would never do that.
What if you just did one leg to see how it felt?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I would do that. Yeah. And if it didn't work, they could just open my... If I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this, they could just open the long leg up and just crack the bone out and reset it. Just take the 3 centimeters out and throw it away. Give it to the dog, maybe.
You must look weird, right? It'd be like wearing heels because you'd be too long.
Yeah.
Like disproportionate, I'd imagine. You'd look strange.
But I think short man with short man syndrome, which I like to think I don't have, will do anything to to change that, regardless of what weird proportionality happens.
Yeah,
there.
fair enough. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
So we should do it.
Yeah, we should definitely do it.
Before we start filming the podcast.
New Patreon goal.
Yeah. Break our legs.
Break our legs and make them slightly longer. Yes.
Anyway, Uncharted. Interested?
Again, it's a video game movie that one day... I didn't mind Tomb Raider. I think I
don't think that did well.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm no barometer for taste, really.
No, you're not.
I'm really not.
Let's see if you are, though.
Yeah.
Hellboy has a new trailer, the reboot.
Yep. I found this very jarring on the first watch, but I just rewatched it and I don't mind it so much.
I actually feel the same way about it. The voice is off because after seeing Ron Perlman and the look,
He feels uncomfortable in...
Yeah.
David Harbour feel that some of those line readings that we get in the trailer, he feels like it, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it feels like he didn't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
And so some of those lines feel a bit underdone. They feel like he's a bit timid and he doesn't want to really
boom?
go... Yeah, really boom. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I also think... You could, and this might just be the trailer, I don't think I was saying this to you, you can see a lot of Ron Perlman in the original Hellboy. You can see his face and the emoting.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This, I feel, the face is a little bit obscured and you can't read it as well and you can't see the actor's face or performance in it as much.
Yeah, right.
I don't know whether that's true, it's just a trailer, but yeah. It kind of looks TV movie compared to, because those movies are so visually interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you go, you know?
Are we also a little bit... swayed by the fact that Mila Jovovich is in this?
Oh yeah,
and I think the fact to me, look, and again, I think she's she's good in those Resident Evil movies, but those movies always feel weird and cheap to me, and I think maybe that swayed me to be like, well, this movie's going to be cheap,
weird and cheap, yeah. But look, I certainly didn't love it, but I'm definitely open to.
Okay, what I did like is that it opened up some more weirdness that we find in the Hellboy universe. We're seeing some giants. Yeah. We're seeing, I think it's Baba Yaga's hut.
Yes, right.
With its chicken legs.
Yeah.
That's
I love
cool.
That weird folklore.
That's what I like.
Weird,
that's what I'm enjoying, yeah.
Apparently he's more, well, you can see it in the trailer, but he's more in the universe as well than... How
do you mean?
Like people know he exists.
Oh, I see.
Like they kind of keep him under wraps. And I think he gets photographed eventually, doesn't he? But it's public knowledge by the end of
That's right,
2.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But I think it's just from the start. It's just like everybody knows this guy's kind of out there. And I guess it's more of a supernatural world that people are...
Yeah, people seem to be just like...
Bunch of weird shit, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I don't love it, but I'm still very interested to see it.
Yeah, right.
Because I just really want to do an episode on those first 2 movies.
Is Mila Jovovich Baba Yaga, the witch?
Maybe.
Think
she'll have to, like, ugly up at one point?
Nah, they'll CG it, don't even worry
about it. That's what I mean, like, yeah.
Somebody else will do it.
Did you ever see Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, where there was Famke Janssen was the witch, and then she got ugly or something?
That, no.
Or did she? I don't remember. Did you like it?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I saw it. I did see it.
You saw it.
But I don't remember
You don't remember it, but you did like it?
I remember there were crossbows that shot multiple crossbows.
Yeah.
Like shot little crossbows out of it.
That's cool.
Them in themselves would fire. So it was good, I think.
I don't
think it was, though. I don't think it was.
Are you all right? Is Christmas driving you insane?
Yeah, maybe.
I think Christmas prep has driven you insane at this point.
Yeah.
Look, I think the first run through, I'm like, what is happening here? But I think we're going to settle into it. I think it's one of those situations where, you know, when Facebook changes its bloody formatting ever so slightly, and we all hate it for a day, and then we forget that it was ever changed. And I think it might be that.
Yeah, and then
I think we're going to be mad for a minute, and then as soon as we settle in, we'll go, I forgot.
Same with like how it would influence, say, world events, and everyone's mad for a minute, and then it's like, it's all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just the way the world goes, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. Plus, I like his big horns and his flaming crown and his big sword.
We did see a bit of that in the last ones, didn't we?
That's true. Yes, yeah, we did.
More
mostly
in
flashback, and then there's a momentary situation where he fully embraces his power, I think, and then he's like, no, I will not.
That's good.
That's what I'm thinking of. The line reading where one person says, "What do you do with that arm?" and he goes, "It smashes things real good." Like that was I felt that was a really underdone line delivery, and I don't know whether that was because it was cut from a different scene or maybe whatever, but it just didn't feel like it had any impact.
I think you also said that he looks, despite being a very big man in real life, he doesn't look as big as Ron Perlman, who I believe is also not a very big man in real life.
He's a small little man. Yeah.
Is Ron Perlman's not small, though,
I don't know.
Look, he must be at least 6 foot.
I believe most actors are quite small.
Except for Liam Neeson.
Who's enormous.
No, he's 185.
What is that? What's that in the old money?
I think it's 6'6".
We're talking about Ron Perlman. Okay, well,
yeah.
he's quite tall then, isn't he?
Yeah, David Harbour height is, I think he might be taller. Yeah, he's a couple of centimetres. He's about 5 centimetres taller. A couple of inches taller.
All right, now could you look up Ron Perlman feet?
Ron Perlman.
For no reason?
Feet. Like his actual feet?
His feet. Not for pervy reasons, I'm just curious. All right, it is.
All right, Ron Perlman is...
Any photos of his feet?
No.
Okay, all right.
There's a lot of photos of just feet in Google Images. but there's none of Ron Perlman. I guess that's not a thing.
Not a thing. That's interesting. Usually it is.
Yeah, it's definitely usually a thing.
I'm going to look up Mr. Sunday Movies, space, and see what comes up.
It'll be Face or Weekly Planet or Nick Mason or something like that. Hang on, let me check. Real name, Face, podcast, YouTube.
Real name, yeah,
Real
okay.
name, wife, Twitter, Reddit, Social Blade, Patreon, Wiki.
Wow.
Also, Social Blade is a lie.
What's that?
It's a thing that calculates your revenue from YouTube. But it's like, this person earns between $10,000 and $10 million a year. It's like, yeah, I'm in there somewhere, that's for sure.
Yep. This may include income from your actual job and any drug deals you do and any arms dealing you do.
Mason, your favourite time of the year.
Is it?
It's because there's no Star Wars movie this year.
That's so good, yep, great.
I'm loving this Star Wars break though.
Feels good. That's what I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Feels really refreshing.
I've always been with you on that.
Although I did hear, and maybe you're across this.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Darth Vader comic book reveals the identity of Darth Vader's father.
Yes, which was hinted at in it's hinted at. It's pretty much said in episode 3. And it was also going to be a line in the trailer. I'll spoil that comic just briefly.
Okay.
Of one element of it. So Darth Vader goes into like a weird dimension or whatever. And
if you haven't read up to the current issue of Darth Vader comic book,
read them all.
It's called Darth Vader comic book.
Yes. There's 25, I think it is, and they're all great. It's well worth reading out. It's probably one of my favorite books from this year in general. But and he sees like his mother standing there, and she's pregnant, and behind her. This
is a look into the past.
Yes, or what
through the time travel tree.
Mate, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
But no, it's not exactly the time travel tree. It might be more of a spirit realm. I don't.
Okay,
really
all
know.
right, I'm ready.
But Palpatine is behind her, kind of manipulating at her stomach, and there's like a swirl of like dark side energy inside her, because it's kind of implied in episode 3 that Anakin Skywalker is his conception, which was supposed to be of the Force and whatever, was actually a dark side thing. But then when they manipulated it to make it happen, it kind of went the other way. The Force kind of pushed back, and that's why he was good for a little bit.
I see.
Until he went mad.
So what you're saying is Anakin's father is
Darth Sidious.
Wingsy Snoutor.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
the guy from the junkyard. What's his name? What's
Watto.
Watto.
Yeah,
but it's Palpatine.
Yeah, there was actually a.
Well, that's not a huge surprise, is it? They've just decided to make it. So does the comic?
It's always been hinted.
Does the comic book make it clear that this is,
or it could be a interpretation of it?
Right. So it could be he's using the Force to,
yeah.
Artificially inseminated with somebody else's.
That could also be that, I guess. Yeah.
So it could be Watto again.
But there is a line.
Do you think they're compatible genetically?
No, everyone's compatible with everybody else.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. But some people are. Some alien species are compatible.
Good to know.
Yeah. In case you ever get trapped in the world of Star Wars.
Hey, could you Google Watto feet? Could you be able to do that?
In the original script, there's a line that says, where Palpatine says, so like, in a way, I'm your father. He says it to Anakin.
Yeah, right.
It's a great callback, right?
That's
and
so
Anakin's
good.
like, no, that's impossible.
Yeah, right.
Do you get it?
I know, I get things. That astounds me that was not left in.
Yeah, I know, right? What restraint?
In an era where George Lucas was still involved, and any idea that he would put in there, they would implement without question. That they pushed back on that. That is astounding.
Maybe because there'd been so much pushback in general on those films until the third one. Maybe he was more open to listening to people, because I think that third one is more of a crowd pleaser for what people want to see than
Christopher Lee getting his head cut off.
I do like that bit.
It's good. It's real good.
We've said it before. That first 10 minutes of that film is fucking cracking, mate.
Yeah,
I really like it. And then they say another happy landing. Do you remember when they land?
Yeah,
but they killed a lot of people.
They sure did. Yeah, a lot of people probably
happy for some.
A lot of people died in that crash as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Just doing their jobs, I guess.
Anyway, it's the Star Wars news, Mason.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Nick Nolte apparently. We talked about how he was going to be in the Mandalorian.
Yes.
Looks like he's going to be voicing an Ugnaught. Do you remember what an Ugnaught is?
Do they look like pig men with big helmets on? Yeah, I know what an Ugnaught is.
They're from Cloud City.
Yeah, right.
They're not from there, but they're on there. They nearly scrapped C-3PO and...
Yeah, right,
And so the rumor is...
They don't look like people that would be rapidly acclimatized to the air. You know what I mean? To a cloud city.
Okay, sure.
But maybe they're sick of living in their weird pigsty huts. Yeah. And they're like, ooh, this is glamorous, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Oh.
So in there...
so Nick Nolte's voicing an Ugnaught.
Yeah, he's apparently... no one's seen him on set, but apparently they've got a very good animatronic face and head. Okay. And he's just going to be like, I hate Star Wars, You know,
yeah, for
whatever
sure.
Nick Nolte wants to say, they'll put it in. So yeah, I get that. And we've also got an update in terms
Are you sure it's an animatronic face and not him with like a bicycle helmet on?
I'm not sure of anything. I couldn't tell you, Mason. But I do know that John Boyega has confirmed that this next Star Wars film is going to be set 1 year after The Last Jedi.
Ooh.
So there is that time jump.
Okay.
It also means that people can write comics in between, and which they couldn't do
That's
for the
true,
last
yeah.
one because they pick up straight.
How do you
up
feel
after.
about that? That it's
time
1 year. No, that it's a time jump. That's 1 year
I
after.
think it's good.
I don't know if it's good. You know why? Because that means they're gonna convert the ragtag team of the dozen people who are left into maybe thousands more.
Yeah, and just
To me, isn't as much fun.
Yeah.
I want it to be literally 12 people left in the Resistance at this point.
that's a good point, actually. Yeah, I guess it's interesting to me because I also want to see the state of the galaxy a year on. Otherwise, this Star Wars lasted like 4 days.
That's true. That being said, I mean, it could be set a year on and there's still only 12 people in the Resistance because they're like, Jesus, nobody wanted to join. I don't understand.
Well, they did send out that distress signal and nobody came.
Yeah.
Except a hologram of Luke.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah.
So maybe people are like, oh, I mean...
Pretty good hologram of Luke, but...
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, the First Order doesn't seem that bad.
Yes.
What have they done, really?
I mean, they blew up...
they blew up occasional planets.
They got rid of all those
systems.
bloody politicians, am I right? You know what I mean?
I'm on board again.
So I didn't know this, but recently I found out that in the new canon of Star Wars, the Senate now moves from planet to planet. So it was initially on Coruscant, and they're like, we shouldn't just have it in one central point. So they keep moving it every
For the purposes of democracy or because planets kept getting blown up?
probably both, I'd imagine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I think because you can't really. How do you know what's going on in the Outer Rim if you're not really in there? Do you know what I mean? I'd imagine that's the idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they demilitarized everybody. And then they built a big planet that blew up politics. So that's good, isn't it?
Cool, man. I love it. I love talking Star Wars politics. It's the most exciting part of Star Wars.
I think there is something to be said for... I think Star Wars politics can be interesting, and there are books and things about it that are interesting. But they're just, in the movies, it's not
It's not a medium for politics, no.
Because it's just like, I vote this. Yeah, I also vote this, and this senator's corrupted... I'm on a big floating disc too. We're all on discs, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's good.
Let's play Dodge 'em cars, guys.
Yeah.
We're on these floating discs. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah. There's been rumors of a trailer this month. I don't know whether that's going to happen.
A trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean a Star Wars trailer? Not any trailer.
Yeah. So, it could happen because they shadow dropped Infinity War 2, whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess they did,
It's
yeah.
very possible, but I don't.
Is that an industry term? Shadow dropped?
I think it's a music term, isn't it?
It's very dramatic. I liked it.
It might not
Spooky.
be anything.
Maybe you've just coined it.
I hope I have. I bet I haven't, though. Speaking of shadow drops, Mason.
Oh, here we go.
They shadow dropped Men in Black International.
Again, a trailer that I did not necessarily care for first time around, but I rewatched it and I'm like, oh, this could be fun.
Oh, yeah. Looks all right.
Yeah.
So Emma Thompson was in 3, I believe.
I see.
So it's obviously they've confirmed it, but it is connected. It's got those weird alien worm people.
The little worm
and they're
man,
like,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
we smoke cigarettes. Blah.
That was the only real connection I feel. To
You didn't
the
see
original.
Rip Torn?
Rip Torn was not in there.
No.
Could you just check to see if he's still alive?
Rip Torn feet.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure he's alive.
Okay.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay, great.
He's 87, but he's alive.
Wow, all right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't he crash into a bank
Yeah,
recently?
I think he did or something, yeah.
Cool.
Rip Torn arrested in February of 2018. Imagine being arrested when you're 87. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty badass, yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
Anyway, we got Chris and Tessa teaming up again.
Yes, they're back together.
Yep.
They go to England, where Tessa Thompson is not from.
As we
She's
not constantly debate, but she's definitely not from there. She's an American.
Yeah. Well, so it looks very kind of Thor-esque in terms of the humor, and I mean,
Yes,
obviously it's
and the
also because
accents.
they've cast those two people from Thor.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's all right, isn't it?
Looks pretty
It's
good.
fun,
Looks fun, yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't like it. I like the first one.
I really liked the first
But
one.
I don't
It was
really
right in my
think-
wheelhouse back in
Yeah.
the day. So, and 2 was not impressive, but
No.
this one could
3
be
is
cool.
fine, but I do wonder whether they're going to be like, and Will Smith at the end, just be like, oh.
Well, look, we never got what I really hoped for at the end of the. Remember at the end of the first one where he showed up and he's like his Nehru collar.
Oh, so good.
His
weird glasses.
He's in his weird glasses and that it was never realized.
Yeah.
You know?
I did see a few comments, and I don't know whether they were ironic or not. they're probably not. But they're like, well, there's a woman in this. I thought it was Men in Black or whatever. So a woman becomes a Man in Black at the end of the first one.
That's true.
20 years ago. I was like, people don't care about that really, right? Is that even worth me bringing up?
I'm sure. Look, I'm sure 99% of the population does not, but there's a 1% who definitely are.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's the same people be like, "How could she even lift that gun?" You know those people. Whenever they introduce a new video game character and it's a female character, like, "How could she even lift all those weapons? There's 9 weapons in her inventory. How could she lift them all?" Nobody can lift them all, you idiot.
Can't free climb
exactly
like that.
Yeah,
you don't have the grip strength.
Exactly.
Or chalk. You got to chalk your hands up.
Got to chalk your hands. No, I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is coming out.
It's pretty fun.
I think they've learnt lessons from Ghostbusters to be like, that's the same universe. Everyone be cool. It's not a reboot.
Yeah, for sure.
The things that you love are still there. It's probably smart.
And bring in Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I still think I don't know. Well, it's kind of gone quiet, but I still want that Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine Star Trek sequel because both of them walked away.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
We were looking up his net worth the other day because we were like, what's he on? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the last movie he did, he got like $17 million for or something. And he's very rich. So good on him.
I agree. Yeah.
What's next, Mason? Oh, yeah, we got to talk about... do you want to talk about Aquaman first or Bumblebee first?
Can we still talk about Men in Black International for a second?
Fine, Mason.
But I don't know. We didn't get any sense of, like...
Who's the villain?
We see two kind of just dudes walking the street wearing green.
I don't remember at all.
I don't know. I guess they're saving a lot of stuff for the movie itself or the second trailer or what have you, but it seemed very...
It's Sony, so they'll probably ruin the whole movie before it.
Well, I was going to say, they'll oversteer. People will be like, "We're going to want more," and they're like, "Well, you want more? Well, here we go."
Here's 47 minutes.
Here's the 9. Yeah, exactly. Here's the 9-minute action finale or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of Into the Spider-Verse on the web before. I didn't watch it before.
There's a lot of this trailer is just them shooting guns at nothing, which I thought was interesting.
Did they do the music? There
was no.
You don't think they're doing that anymore?
I think they will.
Yeah. You got to do a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. You think at the end they're gonna do the reveal of like the world's inside a snail shell or something?
I think they have to.
I think they've done it 3 times now. It's enough.
Well, why not?
The first one was mind blowing because it was in a marble, and that was because in the movie they were saving a galaxy which was in a marble.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's marbles within marbles. And then the next one they were inside a train station locker.
Yeah, right.
And third time was like a time dilation or something. I don't remember that one being that bad.
Okay, sure.
It's a potential future or something. I can't remember. I don't think you can do it. I don't think there's a surprise you can hit people
Now they're
with.
in a kebab shop. It's England.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They get some fish and chips with vinegar. Yes. Yeah. You ever had that?
Yes.
Really good. Yeah.
Have I ever had fish and chips?
With vinegar.
Oh, yeah, all right. Oh, yeah, also, yes.
Good. Both of those things are great. Can we stop talking about Men in Black now, International, or do you still want to talk about it?
At the end of the movie, they're in David Beckham's locker, his soccer locker.
In LA? Because that's where he went to play for the LA whatevers?
The LA Galaxy,
yeah. He doesn't still play, does he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, good on him. Mm-hmm. I miss that haircut. You know what I mean? That haircut everyone had?
Yeah, I
remember. Faux hawk.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Bring it back. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Mason, it's time for the ad spot in the episode.
For Mack Weldon Clothing.
For Mack Weldon Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I love about Mack Weldon Clothing is the noise of Claire filling up a pool outside using a leaf blower. What do you love about Mack Weldon Clothing?
Summertime. That's
sure.
That's the very essence of summertime, isn't it? An above ground pool. You know?
I know what you mean.
As a kid, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. But then you remember it's an above ground pool.
Yeah, that's right. Mack Weldon, though, they believe in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. It's got a great website. It's a very clean interface where you can go in and you can pick the things that you wish to buy.
So easy.
Yeah.
It's so good when you can just bring it up on your phone. It's optimized for the phone or whatever, your tablet, whatever it is.
Yep.
You just clickety-click and you got some clothes.
That's right.
So good.
Exactly. Also, all their...
So much easier than trying to inflate a inflatable pool with a leaf blower. You know what I mean?
It's not built for that. If I had to pick one of the two things to do this Christmas, I know which I would choose to do.
It's built for taking a problem, and a leaf blower is built for taking a problem, making it somebody else's problem. Not getting rid of the problem. I've got too many leaves in my yard. Vroom. Now you've got too many leaves in your yard.
All their products are also, the t-shirts and such, are naturally antimicrobial, which means they eliminate odor. So if you want to be comfortable, also, and you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they'll refund you, no questions asked.
Very good.
So they do things like, what do they do, Mason? They do underwear,
T-shirts, socks, sweatshirt.
Yes.
Zippy sweatshirt.
And zippy sweatpants.
Or as we call them, the tracky dack.
Tracky dacks here.
Tracky
That's
dacks.
right. They
I'll
perform
break
well.
that down. The etymology of that is dacks are pants.
Yes.
They're dacks. Tracky is a tracksuit.
That's right.
Probably figured that out from context.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They perform well too. They're good for working out, going to work, going on dates, just everyday life. And if you go to macwalden.com, you can actually get 20% off if you use the promo code PLANET. They've been a great sponsor of this show for many years, and they got great products. I'm wearing one right now.
You sure are.
Let me
you
tell
could
you
be
that.
blowing leaves with
Could be.
Going out, going to work, going on dates, blowing leaves.
Into someone else's yard. All right. That's macwalden.com, 20% off promo code PLANET. On with the show. All right, now let's talk about Aquaman and or Bumblebee.
Okay,
pick
let's talk
one.
about Bumblebee first.
Okay, I have to scroll down a little
Oh,
bit.
you were assuming I was going to say Aquaman first.
Well, I just went alphabetical, Mason, because that's the nature of the game. The game being bees. Okay, this had a budget of 132 million, which is more than I thought, actually.
Yeah, right.
It's had a 23 million US weekend, which is...
Sorry, 23 million.
Yeah, which is much lower than the other ones. I knew this would happen.
We've talked
got
about this at
burnt
length.
out.
Yeah, everybody got. We went 5 movies going. Well, hopefully this one will be good,
Yeah.
and then they all were terrible, and then that was our.
The last one dipped a little bit.
We drew a line in the sand, and we were like, never again.
Yep.
As a species, we went never again.
Yep.
And now that this one's pretty good, no one's seeing it.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Transformers the movie in the 80s was nearly 2 million, but it's the 80s. The first one from
Is this box office?
This is box office. First weekend was 70 million.
Okay, wow.
The second one was Dark of the Moon, was it? That was 90.
No, the second one was.
I think it's Dark of the Moon.
Okay, cool.
I don't know that. No, Revenge of the Fallen.
No, it was. Revenge of the Fallen was 3, I think.
Then it must be Dark of the Moon.
Okay, Dark of the Moon, all right.
But it might not be. That was 97 million.
Okay.
Then Revenge of the Fallen was 108 million.
Okay.
Age of Extinction was 100 million.
Yeah.
And The Last Night was 44 million, which is a huge drop.
Yeah.
But they all still did well in China and etc.
Okay, all right.
So this is a bit over half. Sorry, a bit more than half of the last one in terms of box office.
Okay.
But also, it came out the same weekend as Mary Poppins and Aquaman.
That's true, yeah.
So, and you've also got Spider-Verse and a bunch of stuff still banging about.
Yeah,
out there.
right,
So, well, that's what you get for making 5 terrible films.
It
in
really
a row.
does,
This
yeah.
is what happens.
This was a real crapshoot. I mean, can you imagine just being like, let's make another one?
So,
the boldness.
but that being said, it could do well over time. It'll probably do well in China because also it's much better than the other ones.
It really is.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it great?
It's not. I don't think it's great.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of really okay. When it opened, there's a Cybertron scene.
Yeah.
And I turn to you and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in these films, at
Yeah,
least.
right,
It's just all Cybertron. Everything looks like everybody from the movies.
Cartoons and the toys, yeah.
And you know, you see like there's the pink female
You
transformer.
see RC is the first transformer you see, I think.
Crazy. And it looks just dead. So you know exactly who it is. There's Soundwave and
Shockwave
and
yeah.
Optimus Prime bloody thunders in and kills a bunch of people.
The Starscream and Thundercracker style Seeker ones, you know, where they're in Cybertron mode where they're like triangle, like pyramid spaceships.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
And did you say that you're angry that we had to watch?
We had 10 years of garbage before this. It's not like the technology was not there.
It clearly was. Yeah.
All these movies look about the same. Like in terms of technical prowess, they all look... They could have pulled this off in whenever the first one came out, but they didn't.
They really didn't.
They were like, let's put in Shia LaBeouf and let's put in
His parents get
Megatron.
stoned.
Megatron's a weird grey crab man. They're all great crab man. And Optimus Prime's a Guy Fieri flame-covered weird truck that does...
He's too spindly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Anyway.
But what did you think, though? Did you think this was good?
I thought this was good.
But did you think you knew what the story was?
Oh, no. You've done it again.
Gotcha.
All right, so this one... I went into this expecting to be a hard reboot of the... and it kind of is. They've changed a lot of elements.
Yes. Wasn't Bumblebee in World War II?
He is in World War II, yeah, so I guess it is a hard reboot. All right, so it's a hard reboot, but they've kept some elements of the previous movies. Is I guess more accurate to say. So basically, it's there's a war on Cybertron.
Kind of a first class situation, I guess.
Yeah. So there's the war on Cybertron, and Bumblebee has to go to Earth and set up a base for the Autobots. He's the scout to go in there.
Yep.
While they fly off somewhere else.
Yes.
The Autobots fly off somewhere else, and a couple of Decepticons go after Bumblebee. Or that's not true. They try and track him down.
Yeah.
And eventually they end up on Earth.
And then
and then Bumblebee has to stop them from telling all the other Decepticons that the Autobot base is going to be on Earth.
Yes.
Is what's happening.
Because they gave all the Transformers voices and personalities in this. In particular, Bumblebee at the start, he's voiced.
Yes.
He talks.
Uh-huh.
I was I lost interest after. So there's a battle on Earth that he has with another Decepticon, which is amazing.
Looks great.
And it's in daytime, and you can see it, and you can see them kind of grappling and tackling, and there's tactics. They're not just slugging each other with axes.
They're not just spinning through the air and swatting at each other while thousands of bullets just rain through the air. Exactly.
And a building falls down or whatever.
Exactly. And
they're like side of a mountain laying into each other.
And you can see the Transformer. You can see the Transformers transform piece by piece. It's not just this massive... It's not this blurred mass of gears and then all of a sudden it's a car or a plane or whatever.
Yeah.
It looks great.
But then after that sequence, I guess this is a bit of a spoiler, or if you know the character, he loses his voice.
Yeah, so the cartoon version of Bumblebee can talk like all the other ones.
Yeah.
He talks at the start and then his voice synthesizer is ripped out.
Yeah.
And then it follows the version that we see in the previous movies where he can only... He can talk through a series of bleeps and bloops, but he learns to talk through the radio.
And he's dumb.
He's dumb. Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh.
See, that's where
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, because I like Haley Steinfeld's character in this, and the human characters are so much better in this than the other ones. And she's
they're
great.
They're not either Shia LaBeouf or Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. But in the middle of this movie,
two of the worst characters ever committed to film.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, Megan Fox saves those movies.
Well, there's a little bit of Megan Fox in this character in a good way. Mm-hmm. That's not an insult. I mean that. I think Megan Fox in those movies, well, you've said it before, should be the main character of those movies.
She is because she's capable of whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But so then it kind of just turns into E.T. the Iron Giant.
And I think that's This was an attempt to build, because they were like, clearly they went, okay, well, the Transformers are a product of the 80s. Let's make a movie set in the 80s. Let's make it a movie like... Imagine this was a movie in the 80s, but we've got all the technology of now.
Yeah.
And so we need a human protagonist. We need kind of an alien creature that seems kind of scared and filled with wonder at the miracles of Earth, but then has to save the people in the end kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of didn't get better from there.
No, but it works as that.
Agreed.
I think.
Yes.
And if I was going in expecting that, which I kind of was based on the trailers, because we have a Bumblebee who's shying away from human contact and is afraid of things. Because again, he starts out as Bumblebee from the cartoon, and then he loses his voice and all his memories.
Yeah.
And then
he's E.T.
Exactly. Yeah. So it works as that, I think. And if you went in expecting that, I think you would probably enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But if you somehow saw the first 5 minutes of the movie, you might expect Bumblebee as a brave warrior with a voice and a personality.
I really
and memories.
I like that so
much.
Me
too. And I don't think if there is a sequel, which there may not be because this is currently tanking, we might not get that, and that's a shame. And I think we'll get him with the weird voice synthesizer and talking through the radio, which I don't like.
Yeah, no,
I've never liked it. Yeah. Why does he have to do that?
Yeah,
I would much rather he just talks. Do you know who the voice actor is for Bumblebee?
Yeah, it's the dude from Maze Runner, Dylan something.
Oh,
something.
okay, right. He was good.
He's good.
Yes.
He's really all the voice acting's good in this.
Yeah, right.
Now let's just quickly talk about the designs. All the Cybertron stuff is great. Optimus Prime looks great. You see the Optimus Prime truck at one point. I like the Bumblebee design in this it looks like the other one, but they've kind of cleaned it up a bit.
Yeah, there's not so many
gears and
it's simplified. It's not stylized, but it's a simplified version.
Yes,
you can see the Volkswagen in it. But I also think that that's what happened throughout the course of all the previous Transformers movies. Is they kept streamlining them.
Yeah,
I
think the problem is they used new cars for a lot of it, and they're just jagged, shiny prototype cars.
But I also feel like if you remember, say Optimus Prime in the first Transformers movie, he's got all the like on his shoulders, he's got the truck wheels, and you can see more elements of a truck in it.
Yeah.
But by the fifth one, he's just this super smooth robot, and there's no if you didn't know the character and you just looked at it, you wouldn't know he would transform at all into a truck. He's just this. And again, by 5, the characters are not transforming at all.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Well, he's not at least.
But in this version, we get again a Bumblebee. You look at it and you go, "Oh, I see. There's some headlights and there's the hood of the car, and you can see where he would transform into a Volkswagen." So.
And there's also, but you said there was a couple of triple changes which you didn't really care for.
They are the biggest throwback, I think, to the Michael Bay Transformers. They've got the weird crab faces.
They do, certainly, yeah.
And you look at them and you go, okay, maybe they'd be a truck.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's an element of them being triple changes. You need elements of truck, elements of car, you need elements of the flying vehicle they are or whatever.
Yes.
But they didn't look great, I don't think.
Because there is another Decepticon who comes to Earth early on. There's the whole clip of it, the fight between him and Bumblebee. Who's the jet? I can't remember.
It's not Starscream,
Blitzwing.
Blitzwing, yeah.
Blitzwing. And that one looks less crab monster-y and
it does, yeah,
it
that's
looks
true.
more like a thing.
A real Transformer.
Like a real Transformer, yeah. So I do agree with you on that. That being said, I like those. I think those two villains are good and they're menacing but I think I agree with you on the design element. So is it a prequel? I mean, it is. Could we just do spoilers?
Yeah, let's do spoilers. I'm going to say... what did you say?
Best movie ever.
Yeah, I'll say best movie ever. It's not the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It just makes me want to see more Cybertron, more Transformers as actual characters.
Yeah.
Because the hints of that you get in this is very interesting. I'm like...
The problem is that this movie kicks off with the Autobots abandoning Cybertron.
Yeah. So
I think if we get a sequel... Spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah.
Okay, right. If we get a sequel, it's going to be mostly on Earth, I think. Which I'm excited to see more Transformers on Earth.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them return to Cybertron.
Yes.
Quite soon.
So John Cena's is a soldier, and he's like, I don't like robots. Mm-hmm. I don't like E.T., the movie E.T. either. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that character arc? And I thought it was a weird kind of turn for him. Like he seemed mean and.
Yeah, right. I think maybe that was maybe his character was ruined in editing a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Because he seems to go back and forth.
Yeah.
He seems like a reasonable guy, and then he's like, "Oh, it's Transformers are murderous monsters or whatever," and he's like, "Well, we'll trust these ones.
Yeah,
we'll trust these very obviously sinister ones." But then at one point he does say. But then he goes back again and he's like, you guys know they're called Decepticons, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So
I felt that a bit inconsistent also because at the end, Bumblebee kills a whole bunch of his men, or he seems to.
Right.
And then at the end, he's just like, I'll see you later, Bumblebee. Good luck in your, good luck in your travels. But I like the bit where, he goes and visits the Haley Steinfeld's house and he's like, and the father admits to like a speeding fine or something. And he's like, yeah, we know. Because he's from the government.
Yeah, right.
We already know. Yeah. I think he's good. I think he's a good actor. I think he's way better than Wahlberg in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 100% better.
He has a normal speaking voice, which I appreciate. It's not all screaming and throwing things and being aggressive.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird that the guy he's a military man, he's clearly like a career army guy, is less aggressive than this weird backyard adventure character. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's confident and he doesn't have to scream all the time.
Yeah. And at the end, I guess this is a prequel because he turns into the Camaro at the end.
Yes.
The 80s Camaro, then he turns up in the first Transformers in 20 years after or whatever, but they don't need to go into that, right? They can just not do that, right?
I think so. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think maybe that was more just a nod to...
Yeah.
Because again, we see him, he transforms into the Jeep initially and then the VW and then this. So, maybe he goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe he's maybe he's a Volkswagen again in the sequel. Again, if they make one, which they won't because this is tanky. Do we know for sure that that's Optimus Prime at the end?
Yeah, because he's in the post-credits. Or the mid-credits where he's like, Bumblebee, we're on Earth, both of us.
Oh, is it? Okay,
we're standing in the forest together, both of us.
Oh, yeah, it is too. All right, cool.
Protect.
Yeah, nice. Pretty good.
Optimus Prime doesn't do a speech about freedom, which is good.
Yeah, that is cool.
which he does at the end of every other movie.
Who was the 80s equivalent of Linkin Park? They could have done a Quiet Ride or somebody. Anyway,
probably, yeah. I couldn't tell you.
Mm.
So did you think it needed to be set? I mean, it's a prequel, but did you like the 80s element of it? It's the 80s. It didn't feel too much like it's the 80s.
I think the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack for sure.
The soundtrack really hammered it home, I feel.
But it was the 80s.
It didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel like it was beating us over the head with the 80s, except for the soundtrack, which was just relentless. But again, that's the 80s, and the 1980s Transformers animated movie was also relentless with the soundtrack. So
it does not stop, not for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Teal wrote in with an email. He saw a preview screening of this.
Oh, yes.
And he said there's some stuff in this that wasn't included. That he talks about how when he saw it, there was no Cybertron scene at the start. It just lands on Earth. Do you think it was weird how Bumblebee just landed near some army guys?
It was a little weird, wasn't it? I find it odd also that is they've kept that from the previous movies as their method of landing on Earth. They're just in ships that turn into pods that turn into meteors or whatever. Yeah. In the original cartoons, it's a huge spaceship that they're all on, and they all land collectively together.
Prehistoric times.
Also, this one they land in the 80s.
Yeah,
but in the cartoons and the comic books, they land millions of years ago.
I'm not even sure though. Maybe he was traveling for millions of years through space.
That's true.
We don't know when anything is in any of these movies, or what anything is.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, maybe the Ark also landed millions of years ago, and he's just catching up when he's just unearthed it or something like that.
He also said there was a scene where Megatron is. They find him in the base. He's on ice, like he is in the first Transformers. Yeah, right. And they're like, let's not tell these guys that we got this fucking. This Decepticon, yeah?
Yeah, right.
They won't like that, probably. Which is, I guess, also says to me that they don't really want to lean too hard into
the Michael Bay Transformers,
making these turn into that.
I agree, yeah.
And there was also going to be a delete. There was a scene at the start.
But imagine seeing him as like cartoon Megatron with a big gun arm.
But they wouldn't have been able to do that if he's. I mean, I guess they could change it. Who cares? But they talked about though they were going to put a deleted scene in where Megatron turns up on Cybertron in his G1 form and kills like a bunch of Autobots. But they were like, but he's frozen on Earth or whatever, so they didn't do it. So right. I don't think they're quite sure what they're going to do with this.
Sounds like they filmed a bunch of stuff and went, or CGI'd a bunch of stuff and went, what direction are we going to take this in? I mean, we're not quite sure yet.
I mean, I doubt they probably made that sequence because it would have been expensive. And then cut it.
Yeah.
But they at least considered it. So, I don't know. I just think it's in this weird limbo of where they don't really know where this is going to go. I think they're going to see what people respond to.
Yeah, right.
And then if we get another one, it'll reflect that. But I think the stuff about Haley Steinfeld and her dad dying and her relationship with Bumblebee, I do think that all works. But it does feel like a different movie. To the detriment of the overall narrative.
What I did love is just, with the exception of Bumblebee sort of stumbling around the house and smashing some stuff, there was very little
hijinks and roughhousing
between Transformers. Yeah, it wasn't the two Decepticons had conversations about strategy. They weren't like, hey, I'm going to kill all these guys. Hey, don't kill them. And then they swatted each other and gears fell off their heads and stuff. There was none of that because they were professionals in the middle of a war. Yeah. There's no time for that.
No, there's really not. Yeah. I don't know. What else? Is there anything else
What else happens in this movie?
Because we got to do Aquaman.
What I felt should have happened, and there was a nod to it, but it never happened, is that like in all 80s movies, the main character has a seemingly useless skill that comes in handy later.
Diving.
And she's a diver, but at the end she doesn't use it for any particular reason.
She does. She dives into the water.
But just to say hello, pretty much. He gets out on his own.
That's right,
I feel what should have happened is she should have used that Energon device that they were going to use to transmit their signal to Cybertron. He should have used it to revive Bumblebee or something like that.
Why was it so important that the Decepticons don't find Earth? Because why did the Transformers even come to Earth? Go somewhere else. Go somewhere where there's no people.
Yeah, right.
I just don't see why it's important.
An uninhabited rock. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're robots in disguise. Are they going to disguise themselves as rocks?
Yes.
They're not the Rock Lords.
Well, they could be.
A real toy line that existed when I was a kid.
I remember the
robots
Rock Lords.
that turned into rocks.
Yeah. I know. I just think I don't see why Earth is so important. I mean, I guess it's Unicron, so I guess that's important because the Earth is Unicron.
No,
remember?
Let's not go there.
Apparently, that's from one of the animated series.
Oh, right.
I don't know, like one of the newer ones.
Okay, cool.
Imagine if the Earth turned into Unicron. You can't do it because it throws everybody off Earth.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
What are they even doing? I don't know. He'd have to come out of Earth, like he's hibernating.
He'd have to emerge from Earth. Right?
Yeah, comes out of the ocean or something.
Yeah, okay, that could work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why did they even do that? Though?
I don't know why they made any of those decisions. I feel like they were just. Again, they were just spinning their wheels and hoping for the best. I think they painted themselves into a corner so many times plot-wise with those. And again, I am also very confident that for at least one of them, probably more they just got some existing scripts and threw Transformers into them.
You're probably right.
Just off
like
the shelf.
Generic military.
Yeah, and then that weird King Arthur Merlin movie from the last one. I think they just had an existing Merlin magic script and they went put Transformers in it. Then they realized they couldn't take any of the Merlin stuff out.
If you get Merlin's staff, you can go to a cave and convince a bunch of Transformers to make a dragon and fight in your army for the war.
Correct.
But only if you've got
the staff.
if you're Merlin.
Exactly, yeah.
Or a descendant
That's
of
how
Merlin.
that works, yeah. I hate those movies so much.
They're
so
not
bad.
good.
They're so bad.
They're not good.
They make my head hurt.
You know what's good? What was also good about this? It's not leery. Those movies are so creepy and leery and like sinister and like slick and gross.
Yes.
I mean, like the way they treat characters.
Yeah. There was no shot of Haley Steinfeld like looking in the engine of Bumblebee like bent over and like sweaty or whatever. She was a normal person, which I appreciated. Worked at hot dog on a stick.
Yes, I didn't mind the last fight where Bumblebee beat up some Transformers and uses the chain to. I mean, I don't know how destructible these things are supposed to be.
Yeah, it's always very odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
They'll get a stab through the heart and they'll die, or they'll get their head cut off and you can just reattach the head. It's a mystery, isn't it?
But again, though, I really like that first fight with Blitzwing and how because he shows that he's smaller and he's weaker, but he's scrappier and he's smart. And the way that he kicks the missile into him and escapes,
that was really
good.
good.
Really great.
Anyway, More of that, please. And give him his voice back.
Yes. Or do the radio.
No, it's bad.
I got some reviews here. Matt says, Bumblebee just kicked my nostalgia balls into outer space. Music and references and G1 designs. Oh my, good overall film. Better than the other shit-ass Transformers movies. Still only okay. Good fun overall. Thanks. Lewis says, saw a double bill of Bumblebee and Aquaman on Sunday. Bumblebee was fantastically easily the best Transformers movie by a bloody mile. But Aquaman felt like it lasted close to 5 hours. But we'll come back to Aquaman in a minute. And Charlie Newman says, man, John Cena sure did survive being blown up a lot. Also, I thought it was weird that Cena forgave Bumblebee for killing all his men. Yeah.
Were they actually killed though?
He said this isn't Terminator 2. People blew up. A guy was on fire. It wanted to be Iron Giant, but missed the point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'd have to see that again to know that.
Maybe he's one of those, he's like one of those hard-ass bosses that nobody actually likes him.
Yes.
And they're always being real mean and rude to him. So he's like, no, I don't care if they die.
I don't like that guy at all. I'm glad he went on fire. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Aquaman.
All right, hang on. Do I have any more Transformers thoughts? Probably not. Yeah, just give us more. I want to see. Bring RC to Earth.
Just do a Transformers movie.
Just do a Transformers
movie. Make a movie about Transformers.
Yes. I mean, how about this? In the next one, we get a Haley Steinfeld cameo.
Yep.
And then the rest of it's just the Transformers in San Francisco shooting stuff.
I didn't like the stepdad jokes that he's the goofy stepdad, and I like the mum stuff.
I didn't mind it actually
because he's
he's from Broad City. I like that guy.
Yeah, I know who he is, Mason.
All right, I get it.
I like him too, actually, but I don't know.
I didn't like the little brother.
No, I didn't like him either.
And I also don't sign when something awesome happens. You don't need a little kid signposting about going,
that was radical,
so radical.
It's the 80s.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Yeah, he felt like a kid in a board game ad on the TV.
Yeah, for Jumanji, the board game.
So radical, I win.
Yeah. Mason, the biggest movie of the week by a long way was Aquaman. On a budget of $200 million, it made $70 million in the US.
Which of those is good?
That budget is insane. $70 million is good. Wonder Woman made $103 though. But again, I think that's because Mary Poppins opened, Bumblebee opened.
Aquaman's a dumb concept.
Yes, it is.
It's the three.
That being said, it's already made $209 million in China. Because China apparently love this kind of shit. They love like weird mermaids and fish monsters. And
but not ghosts.
Not ghosts and not Luke Skywalkers.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah.
What do we love as a culture, like Australia? What do you think?
Whatever America likes.
That's probably true, yeah.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, we love like an American showing up to do one of our awards nights.
We do
like
love
an American
that.
actor will show up.
But then tearing through them in the paper the next day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice job, Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Matt LePlank. Got him.
That's what we love.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, can we generalize culturally to anything that sports movies? I don't even think we will.
I think we do a lot of TV shows where there's probably like a doctor, but he's a bit unconventional.
Yeah,
and maybe he has to move to a small town, but he's not used to that or something.
Yeah, okay, we do a lot of those. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There's a lot of cop dramas, but just generic like.
I meant more in the sense because America exports Aquaman to China and China laps it up allegedly. Oh, what does America send us that we'd just like? Yeah, love that. CSI shows.
Yeah, CSI shows. The Mentalist.
Yeah,
we get a lot of that.
And you're right. Any show with like a larrikin.
Yeah,
like it doesn't follow the rules. Like you're the Mentalist.
Yeah,
you're the Bones. You're
the monk.
You're the monk, exactly. Yeah, we'll watch those for 10 seasons.
Yeah, and we export Home and Away to Europe.
That's right.
And that's it. Yeah. That's what we export. Yeah.
Anyway, they're loving it in China.
They
Aquaman,
are.
Yeah.
So, what did you think the story was?
Oh, no,
you got
it's
it
Aquaman.
twice.
He's Aquaman. He's been Aquamaning about in Justice League.
And Batman v Superman. He was in some footage.
Oh, yeah, he was too. That's true. Yeah,
it was in an email.
He was in an email attachment. I forgot about that. Yeah, anyway, he's been in 2 movies prior to this.
Yeah.
And let's see. And he's out there. He's stopping piracy on the high seas.
Yep.
He's then he's drinking. He's hanging out with his dad.
Yeah, he's hanging out.
He's dadding about.
He's good drink with his dad.
But he's sad.
Because his mum's gone.
His mum's gone.
And maybe he's torn between 2 worlds.
Also that. And
but
then
people kind of like him though.
They seem to like him, yeah. Except pirates. Pirates are against him. They don't like him. But then Atlantis.
Yep.
Atlantis is going to they're going to attack the surface world.
Yep.
But if Aquaman becomes the true king, they won't attack the surface world.
So that happens.
Got to do that.
What did you think of this, the 5th or 6th? I don't know. We've had a few of these DC movies. What do any of them mean? Are they connected? Somewhat.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
What did you think?
I think it's my 3rd favourite DC movie, which is not saying a lot.
Yeah, I think for me it's behind Man of Steel.
And Wonder Woman?
And Wonder Woman, definitely. And maybe even... I don't know if I liked it any better than Suicide Squad or Batman v Superman.
There you go.
But I at least it was about something. And
yeah, right, exactly.
And I also really like him as Aquaman.
I didn't feel at any point there was a moment where I just went, why did they do that? Either in the case, either plot wise or filming wise, or production wise, Whereas several of the others, one of those is going to crop up. I'm either going to go, Batman, why'd you do that, Batman? Or I'm going to go like, what's his name? Zack Snyder. Why'd you do that?
Yeah. But you're talking like Batman killing or the mustache thing or like the Steppenwolf decision to make him a weird CG monster or the email attachment.
Yeah, exactly. There was no elements of those, I don't think.
Every villain is just fire and smoke at the end.
Yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of fire and smoke.
Yeah, there was. There definitely was.
But at least this was wrapped up in a very colourful package, I thought. And I think production-wise and design-wise, I think they went out of their way to not go, okay, the man, he's on a shark. He rides a shark. What's that going to look like? I think they went out of their way to go, okay, let's give it a fresh take.
Let's make this as interesting as we can.
Let's make it interesting and go, okay, well, there are different Atlantean clans. Let's make them all look different.
Yeah.
And let's have them, they're different cultures and what have you. And I think that kind of worked. Design-wise, I think that worked.
I liked how they lent into the weirdness of the universe.
Yeah.
And I didn't love all the designs and all the choices, but it felt like a definitive look, an idea that they were going for. It felt like like they're doing The Mummy, Aliens, Masters of the Universe.
It really, kind
of all in one.
National Treasure.
And that doesn't always work.
No, and I don't think it 100% worked here.
No.
I think the influences were very obvious in a lot of cases, but I think as a whole, I'm like, it's kind of fun. What I did enjoy is the vastness of the universe.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like, he's hanging out on the beach. We're at the beach, and then we're at Atlantis. That's all there is. There's the beach in Atlantis. Yeah. They were like, it was kind of like, okay, well, there are these vast tracts of water that we don't know anything about, and the only people that could survive there are Atlanteans, so...
Yes.
So let's explore that universe and decide what weirdness is in that universe, kind of thing.
Did you like the other? Did you like Mera, for example? Like some of the other characters that were. I read a thing that I don't know. I wish I had in front of me who said it, but they kind of feel more like brother and sister than.
Yeah, right.
I love how into this he is and how much he enjoys being Aquaman and going to. He seems to like press tours and just having fun. He just seems like a.
I feel that nice is maybe again if they are a romantic, the idea that they're going to eventually be a romantic couple or what have you. I'm enjoying the trend now that there are just. We didn't really talk about it in Bumblebee, but there are men and women who are just platonic friends, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to immediately fall in love with the first person you meet in a movie. You know, you can just be friends with them. It's fine.
Sure, it happens in real life, but doesn't always have to happen every time in a movie. That's what you're saying.
It's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was. I think they work off each other enough. But
what's her character though?
I don't know.
See, there we go.
I think her character is being like, "You're an idiot," and he's like, "I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy."
So basically, their characters are the
she's
wacky
his mum.
Yeah, I was going to say she's the wacky shock jock on the radio, and she's the female assistant who's like, "Stop it, boys!
Yeah, pretty much.
Stop having fun."
Yeah, you're right. Nicole Kidman's in it. His dad has some of the worst de-aging I've seen in a movie,
but great hair, great 80s hair,
great 80s wig going on there. I still buy those two together though, Nicole Kidman and
for sure, yeah.
Tamara Morrison.
Yeah.
I like that guy a lot. I wish he was in more stuff. He was Django Fett, which I know
we're aware he was
we all
Django
appreciated.
Fett. Yes, and he was Boba Fett,
and he was
the voice of Boba Fett.
Also, it's true. He was all the Fetts, but he also. I felt like when he was with his son, they felt like a real father and son kind of team.
Yeah.
But, just two dudes who just liked hanging out and drinking together.
And I'm glad... Oh, that we'll save it for spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black Manta, they've got a couple of villains in Black Manta who I liked and think will be interesting.
I think they've gone with we need a Black Panther-esque larger villain, and we need a smaller villain who's going to cause a ruckus, but ultimately is not relevant to the larger plot line. Yeah. Because in Black Panther, we got Claw and we got Killmonger.
That's probably true.
So there's another influence.
Definitely. And then Orm, who is Patrick Wilson. He wants to rule the sea!
Wants to become the Ocean Master! Well, maybe I'll become a Black Manta. Call me Black Manta. Well, I'm Aquaman.
I think I said this too earlier this week, but a lot of this movie where it'd be like, it was somebody yelling to an audience to be like, "No, I'm the ruler," or whatever. It felt like a guy standing in front of a green curtain.
Not knowing how many people he's supposed to be addressing. How many people in
the room.
Yeah, there is a couple,
not knowing how to project.
A couple of characters in this, we might talk about it later, but we might forget, give various impassioned speeches. And in all of them, I'm like, you thought you were going to deliver this to 10 people in a room, but it's actually 5,000 people. They've actually CG'd 5,000 people, and you're just talking like it's a small number of people, so it looks very odd.
Yeah.
But I mean.
But overall, it looks like they spent all the money on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the only action sequence that I kind of really perked up for, though, was the above-ground rooftop chase.
In Sicily, which we've seen a lot of... We saw a lot of in various trailers, in that extended trailer we got a while back. Yeah.
Which I thought was really good.
Looks good. Looks real for the most part, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, and they do, because I watched a behind-the-scenes thing where James Wan talks about and how they did it, and a lot of it is real camera. You know how there's a guy running through the building, and inside the building he drops down a level and keeps running. They had a stuntman hold on a camera on a wire, follow him down. That's not a CGI shot.
Oh, great.
A lot of those camera movements are real, and then when you pan outside, then it cuts to a different thing.
Okay, that's great.
So you can you know where everybody is running across the rooftops, and you know who's fighting who. It's not confusing. Whereas if you look at like the Doomsday fight, people are just looking like jumping through smoke at each other. And,
for sure. You don't know where anybody is relative,
or what space where they are.
And this one definitely gave. There were establishing shots where it was like, okay, here's Aquaman, he's leaping off a thing, and now we'll pull back, and there's Mera in the background, and we'll pull back into her, so we know where they are relative to one another. Yeah, which is nice that they got those basic rules of showing where characters are together.
Because then, I mean, not that I hated the underwater stuff, I just. And this isn't a slight against CGI because it all looks good, but when it's a shark fighting an octopus and then a crab's got a sword and whatever, it's like, okay. But that being said, that final battle where the crab has a sword and a shark is fighting an octopus, it's pretty short. They don't do it for 20 minutes where it's just things crashing into each other.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So
but I also, again, I think they got the scale right, and it was just, it felt like a real battle for the most part. It looked pretty solid, I think.
Yeah. There was a lot of people having their conversations interrupted by an explosion.
Yes, I think we mentioned this off at the time
when we were watching it. Yeah.
I think I leaned towards you and went, "That's the 6th time that's happened." There's so much. Somebody's delivering some exposition or having an argument, and then an explosion happens behind them, and they're flung apart, and then there's an action sequence. Yes. It was the default entry into an action sequence in this movie. It happens so many times.
It really does.
It's so strange. And if it happens so many times that you notice it. You go, oh, this is a trend. Maybe try a different way to do it this time.
Yeah, maybe have someone knock. excuse me, it's time for an action sequence.
Time for a fight, so we're here to fight you. Also, why do you keep getting... As characters, why do you keep getting surprised by it?
Yeah. They know where you are at all times, it seems.
You should be like, look, we have to go and we have to collect the mystical amulet. Hey, wait a minute. I'm describing something we have to do. We're about to get attacked. Are you ready? Here we go. Boom.
Let's stand back to back. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, I guess. They do it, don't they? I like that only the royal Atlantean bloodlines can breathe out of water. Otherwise, you need like a spacesuit with water in it to
you need a reverse diving suit.
Yeah.
A jumpy suit.
But it's a bit Thor kind of, you gotta get the magical thing and then you're the whatever and you've got the best...
But at least there were clearly defined goals in this movie,
true,
I think,
yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Did you like Julie Andrews' cameo? That's probably a spoiler.
That is definitely a spoiler, yeah.
Okay.
She's Mary Poppins again.
Yeah, boy, was she. It's just Indiana Jones for 10 minutes, though, isn't it, in the middle?
Yep.
They just do Indiana Jones where they go into the desert and then they're just like, where are we going to find the next item to the treasure map? And then they do. And then an explosion happens and they probably...
There's another homage. First Iron Man where he crashes the Iron Man suit into the desert.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just them falling out of a plane.
Yeah. Man. How did they get out of the desert? Or maybe I went to the toilet then. But I just remember them then being in Sicily or whatever.
I'm
sure
maybe some dolphins gave them a lift.
Through the sand.
Yeah. Sand dolphins,
cool.
yeah.
There's one more thing I want to talk about before we go to spoilers.
I'm ready.
This guy apparently smells so bad you can smell him underwater.
Aquaman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Because she's like, you should bathe. And then they're underwater when he says that. And he smells himself and he's like, phew, wee. That means also he can smell himself. And you must smell really bad when you can smell yourself.
Underwater.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's very true, yeah.
How unhygienic is this man?
Yeah.
I mean, he's always swimming and yet he smells so bad.
Isn't that strange, right?
Yeah.
He must be very greasy.
He's a bit crazy. It's not great.
It's not great, is it?
Yeah.
I was going to say I just remembered another homage. There's in the opening sequence, which we see in the trailer where he breaks into a submarine. There's a lot of him throwing a disc around like a shield.
Yes,
felt very
that's
Captain
true,
America.
there is, yeah.
And I'm like, is this going to be the shtick for the whole movie? Is he just going to be throwing a shield? Because that is Captain America, I'm pretty sure. But I think a lot of the action sequences were pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think they were quite creative.
Agreed.
They didn't necessarily use full advantage of the fact that he is a water-based man at all. Like there wasn't any. He didn't have a lot of tricks where he was like, okay, well I know the ocean better than you, so I'm going to do this kind of thing. It was more just his.
I guess because they all knew the ocean.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean like fighting, human characters or whatever. There wasn't really. It was just him being like, okay, I'm a big strong man.
Yeah,
he
can punch his way out of things. I guess it's the best. I mean, it's better than Justice League. I hate to say it, Mason.
What's your definitive ranking at this point of the movies?
It's probably.
I say. Do you want to go ahead?
I know you go.
Okay, all right. Tied Man of Steel, Wonder Woman. I think they're both equally good.
I think Wonder Woman's probably better for me.
That's fair enough. And then maybe Aquaman. Aquaman's 3.
Okay.
Then Suicide Squad, which I felt was a big nothing.
Yep.
And then
this is more something than Suicide Squad was.
I think so too. Yeah, at least it was something.
Yes. Yeah.
Then Batman v Superman, just because it was such a shock to the system for that to be what it was.
It was like being punched.
Yeah. And then Justice League, which I think is a better movie than Batman v Superman, but it should have been a great movie, which is why I'm putting it at the bottom.
Look, we all had fun with it.
We didn't. We did not. We didn't. Stop saying
I don't know. I think I put it around Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, right.
But for different reasons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess it's best because I wasn't
You weren't blown away by it.
bored though. Like I mean, they made it. I saw it.
Yeah.
I was there.
Costumes look good.
Yeah.
Ocean Master looked good.
I love that costume.
Yeah.
That is one thing I really liked, how they leaned hard into the weird comic book costume stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that gold Aquaman costume is ridiculous.
But they made it look great. Yeah. It was, it's a function of the. Again, it looks aesthetically, it ties in with the rest of the universe.
It's so much better than that weird Zack Snyder crab suit that he wears in Justice League.
Yeah, right.
Just like, that weird crab armor. It's all jagged and weird.
Yeah. Now, was this armor magic or was it?
Well, it seemed to be. Oh, well, let's talk spoilers.
Okay, let's talk spoilers. Anyway, I'm going to say best movie ever. Again, it's not the worst movie ever. I didn't love it.
Yeah,
but it was not an overall waste of time. And it's look. I think they are definitely going. Okay, we need more color in this universe. We need more excitement and fun.
Yeah, it felt like a course correction.
It felt like a course correction, and I think in a lot of ways they went too far with it. Yeah. But I think that this bodes well for the rest of if they're going to keep making all these movies, and they will.
It also feels like a course correction they started before they started making the movie, as opposed to just before they released it. They recut it and reshot it,
and recolored it.
Which they did for Suicide Squad and Batman and Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which were fantastic.
Anyway, yeah, look, I think this is a good new direction for this. But again, it's the sixth movie.
Yeah,
it's the sixth movie. Superhero movie it's not a new company, it's Warner Brothers. They've been making movies for decades. These should be better.
Yeah, it is. I just kind of see. Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, spoilers.
Yeah. Look, so he doesn't save Black Manta's dad at the start.
Yep.
And Black Manta's dad is like, "Listen, we're both father and son. We're a team. I'm just before I die.
I hope this is not a metaphor for any other father and son teams here.
Yes, but here's a knife.
Yeah.
This is your grandpa had this, and he was pretty good. And now
you piracy.
now you have this knife.
Yeah.
And then he dies, but he only dies because Aquaman doesn't save him. He's like, the fucking ocean's got you now, bitch. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
So he gets pinned under a torpedo.
That's true, and he drowns.
He drowns.
No, he doesn't. He explodes.
He explodes himself. Well, he would have drowned.
Yeah.
But and then later, Black Manta shows back up and he's like, "You didn't think I would have a Black Manta suit, did you?" And now look away.
No, I do. No.
And then afterward, Aquaman is on a boat with Mera, and he's like, I'm contemplating the choices in my life.
I'm feeling some regret.
Maybe I should have saved that guy. But I feel like he only felt regret is because that guy came back.
Yes.
I don't think
if they both died, he would have never given another thought.
Given a shit.
But that's I feel the same way. Initially, I'm like, oh yeah, it's good that he had, this character has some growth where initially he's like, I'm the best and I'll do whatever I want kind of thing. And then he realizes, oh, my actions have consequences.
Yeah.
But it was only consequences as it related to him and Mera being attacked.
Yeah. Exactly. So I thought that was quite funny.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I also thought it was really funny when he ended up defeating Black Manta. He smashes his head in with a bit of concrete, and that dude falls so far, and he just hits every fucking rock into the ocean.
That's the Fast and Furious way.
Yeah.
If a car was falling off that, it would hit every rock on the way. Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Also, I have an Easter egg video. If people want to check it out, I'll link it below.
Nice.
There's a lot of stuff in this. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm glad that nobody in Aquaman's family died.
Yep.
Again, but here's the thought. Another homage, not so much an homage, but kind of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
it turns out Michelle Pfeiffer's character was trapped in the quantum realm. Turns out Aquaman's mother was trapped in the center of the earth or whatever it was.
And I asked you after we saw this, did they go through a portal to reach the center of the earth? Was that a vortex
a magical portal?
Or a magical portal?
It seemed that way because the center of the earth is quite a long way away
from just being in the ocean.
To swim it would take a long time.
Yeah,
unless he can swim as fast as Superman can fly,
which he can. I think.
I think maybe it's a case of let's skip those days. It's not overall that important.
No.
I think what I did appreciate in this universe is there was not an over explanation of all the stuff that can happen in that universe.
Yeah.
They didn't go, well, then we'll go through the portal and then we'll blah, blah, blah. It's assumed that as adults, they know where they're going and what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm just curious.
Anyway, I like the fact that Aquaman's family didn't die. I believe in the comic books, at some point, Black Manta is going to kill Aquaman's father.
Yes.
So maybe that's in the sequel. That's leading up.
Right.
Okay, right.
Can't wait.
Okay, I also can't wait.
I think he's also going to cut his hand off with that knife somehow.
Yes, yeah, good old knife.
Even though that knife isn't a proper Atlantean knife or whatever.
Maybe he'll get a coating on it.
Yeah, he'll get a sweet coating. It's like a spray-on thing.
A spray-on coating, yeah.
I loved Nicole Kidman's weird survival fish outfit.
Yep.
Just like she's this actress who's like clawed her way up from BMX Bandits.
I was saying,
through Batman Forever, done all these like The Hours and amazing award-winning television, and then she's just standing in a dead fish costume.
Dead fish. She's got a crab arm. Yeah, it's pretty great. I think I said to you after the movie was finished, I would have liked to have seen Nicole Kidman in the scene set in the past. She's got a BMX Bandits hair, a big frizzy orange hair. That would have been great.
Oh my god,
yeah,
I love that. I also thought they go to the Fisherman Kingdom, which is just fish people.
Yep.
And Digimon Honsu is the leader of the fish people, and he's like, "I don't like you, Ocean Master, or whatever you call yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come into my kingdom." And then it's like a 15-second scene, and then he's stabbed.
Yeah.
And he's dead.
He's the go-to guy for just appearing in a superhero movie for a minute.
And then being stabbed?
Yeah.
Or having his head torn out or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then this really made me... A couple of things really made me laugh.
Are these things making you laugh on purpose, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe... I think they might be intentional. But at the end, they have to... They fight... they have a final battle between... There's an arena fight where they fight underwater and Aquaman loses.
Black Panther?
Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. And then at the end they fight again.
Black Panther.
Yeah, that's right. And they fight on top of a submarine or something. Not a submarine, an Atlantis vehicle.
Yeah, right.
And they're hitting each other with tridents. And then at the end, he defeats Ocean Master and he gives a speech and he's like, oh, Mira does. It's that weird, doesn't know how many people she's talking to speech. Yep. She's like, now it's the king and it's time to unite the people and whatever. And then it just cuts to the leader of the Fisherman Kingdom, who's just this little girl in fish makeup sitting in like
a little submarine.
It's just so fucking weird. And they cut to this I don't know whether it's supposed to be this serious speech, and it cuts to this bizarre fish person.
Yeah, right.
It's so great.
I think it's meant to be earnest. I think.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I also loved when the crab gets pinned down by Orm. The crab gets his arm cut off in the final battle.
Oh, yeah, right.
And he's like, I'm a crab and I'll never give up being a crab, not for you. I'm like, this is a fucking weird movie.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
Was it weird enough, do you think? Could it have been weirder?
Yeah, I think it was weird enough.
Yeah, right.
Do you think it could have been weirder?
Speaking of weirdness, the giant Cthulhu-esque deep Leviathan monster was voiced by Julie Andrews, so that's fun.
Could have been anyone, though.
Could have been anyone, it's true. Is Julie Andrews going to be in the Mary Poppins movie? Is she in
Apparently she's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because she was too busy doing Aquaman.
Too busy, obviously. She had to mocap that giant
That's right.
Kraken monster. Now, I don't think they got fully away from the grey fire and smoke, because until the very end, and then instead of fighting in water and in smoke and fire, it's just mist and rain, and it looks mostly the same as
it really kind of does,
of thing. Yeah,
but at least it was lighter.
It was lighter, and then the sun came up, and then somebody did a speech about uniting kingdoms,
yeah,
stuff. The United Kingdom,
yeah.
Anything else about this, Mason? You've got some things to say.
Do I have some thoughts about this? Let me think. Do you think they should have pushed the climate change environmental angle further than they did? Because they were kind of like, you've filled our oceans with garbage. Here's all your garbage back. Enjoy your garbage, you garbage people.
Yeah, I think they. Did you think? I think it got the point across.
Did it? Because I only just thought about it now.
What were you thinking about? The weird fish stuff. Nicole Kidman's crab arm.
Yeah, mostly the crab arm. Yeah. Just throws that crab arm aside like it's nothing.
There were dinosaurs there.
There were, yeah. That's true, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything else to say.
No, that's all right, yeah. How does this universe look to the average person in this universe? How does the world look?
It's the same universe where Superman knocked down a city, and then they're just in the center of the earth, and Nicole Kidman's in a fish costume, and there's fucking dinosaurs running around.
That's very true.
It's a magic trident.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, right?
Because I think Marvel have done such a good job of easing us into this stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just a handbrake turned into a fish kingdom.
Because they didn't, and I think that's because I think Marvel went, okay, well, there's going to be a larger, let's tease a larger universe in the first few, see how it goes. But with the first couple of DC ones, they had no idea it was going to be a shared universe, right?
Yeah.
Or they didn't think it was going to be. So they were just so they did it like they used to do superhero movies, which was like closed universe. There's just the one weird thing. Everything else is normal. And then by about Suicide Squad, they panicked and they were like, just make everything crazy. I don't know. Everything's magic and monsters and sci-fi.
That's actually true. Yeah, you're right. But then the only bit of Atlantis that we've really seen, but it wasn't Atlantis, was in Justice League, where they're protecting the Steppenwolf box. And they're just underwater, and there's just 4 coral pillars.
Yes.
And that's kind of all we know of anything underwater.
Yeah, right.
And then there's just this. I just think it's amazing. Because I don't know, because when Black Panther opened up the universe, I felt like, yeah, that makes sense. There could be this hidden thing, but this was...
But see, the thing, I think there could be this hidden thing just because the oceans are so vast.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
fact that nobody ever comes up to the surface world is a bit weird, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it, to be honest. More weird stuff. Yeah. It felt like a movie that they intentionally made.
Yep, they've nailed it. They've finally done it. They did one on purpose.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like,
I know.
They went, this is what we're going for, and they made that thing.
Yes.
Got some reviews here. CJ Volt says, Aquaman has a 2-minute sequence where a man dunks his head in the toilet to save his life. Mera throws shards of Merlot at bad guys.
I forgot about that.
Aquaman is wrapped up like a sushi roll to save himself, and Mera plays a wooden flute. I forgot that. There was a flute.
There is a flute sequence, isn't there?
It's the greatest movie to ever movie. Charlie Newman says, Aquaman kills thousands of Atlanteans, unleashes a giant crab kaiju, trench dwellers, and makes shark steeds eat their own riders. Oh, yeah. He does, doesn't he?
We forgot about that. He can talk to fish. We forgot.
But he spares Orm by claiming that killing isn't his way. My hero? Yeah. And Gabriel Tice Bruton.
Oh, the Brute.
The Brute.
Creator of one of our musical themes.
That's right. Aquaman was not great. It made me heavy sigh, shake my head moments. It was difficult to sit through. It had some good bits, but overall I'd say worst movie ever. If I'm going to watch a CGI fest, I'd rather watch Valerian again. Yeah, I liked Valerian.
Still haven't seen it.
To a point.
Maybe I'll watch Valerian this week.
You should watch Valerian. There's probably the first half of that's pretty great.
Should I read the comic book also?
I haven't read it.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah, cool.
Anything else?
That's it, I think.
If people have thoughts on these movies, I'd love to know because, man, they're making them.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah,
the next one is Shazam, and then I think that one after, and then the Joker, but that's not related.
Yeah,
and then they push back Wonder Woman till 2020.
Okay, right.
So we're not getting that for a long time.
Just pump some out. By sheer chance, you're bound to make some good ones, maybe. I don't know.
I think 2 DC movies a year is enough for now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But again, I feel this is a step in the right direction. Maybe that's how we should rate DC movies. Is this a step in the right direction or the wrong direction?
Yeah, I feel like most of them attempt to be a step in the right direction, but then they panic a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then they don't often fulfill that thing that they're doing. Because then they take a step in a different direction.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, Mason, it's time for What Are We Reading?
Well, what are we going to read?
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? What are you going to read?
When this is our second last episode of the year, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm not going to say Titans then, because that's not out for like another 3 weeks or something. I was Christmas shopping, and I very nearly bought the trade paperback of Dark Knight: The Master Race. I think we've discussed. Should I read that?
Yeah, you should. I'd love to know what you think by reading it in one block.
I gave it a quick flick, and I'm like, this doesn't seem terrible.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, this is the second sequel
to The
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that really burned me. I think we've talked about it before, but the whole thing wasn't out yet. But also, it was $45. That's why I hesitated, because I'm like, what's a lot of content here, and I turned around, I'm like, ooh,
no way.
That stings.
I think there's some interesting stuff in it.
But I kind of want to have it as the trade and not as digital, just because there's so much.
Wait till it comes down. I'll get it up, right online, but no.
What is also interesting to me about it is that it's the cover says Dark Knight: The Master Race. It doesn't say Dark Knight 3.
Yes.
Because I think they want to trick people into thinking it's Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
Because it looks exactly like that.
Or there's no 2 also.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've read 2, right?
I have read 2. Dark Knight Strikes Again. Yeah, it's the worst.
And I think a lot of
Strikes Back, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, a lot of it is the art as well, which is...
It's mad. Yeah, it's...
And also 9/11 happened during it, was that right? So he changed a lot of it?
Who knows?
Yeah. Apparently he's doing Superman Year 1, but that's delayed or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frank Miller, huh?
He's not...
What a strange man.
Yeah. Also, I think I told you this, but in that, Batman just gets young again pretty early on.
Yeah, I got the sense of that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. They just take that element away from the story.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Black Mirror's out on the 28th. Looks like one of them might be a movie.
Wait, season 4?
Yeah.
Oh, is it
that's
season 4?
coming up. Yeah, that's coming up this week. So
that's pretty cool.
We probably can't do it because next week is our best worst episode for the year.
It's our best and worst episode of the year.
Yeah, it does both.
Wow.
It's got all the elements that you love and hate about this show.
Incredible.
No, it's where we talk about the best stuff from the year.
It's our award episode.
We've got a couple of videos this week talking about the biggest box office and biggest hits and bombs. They're coming up this week. But yeah, so it's one of my favorite episodes to do where we just look back on the year and go, what was good and what was not good. We do a whole bunch.
What was your favorite Black Panther movie? Was it Black Panther or was it Aquaman?
We hand out a bunch of awards like best non-sequel or reboot, best TV show, worst. The game is on. If anyone's got a suggestion for a category to award something,
we would love that. Actually, that'd be great.
I like adding to this and changing it. And
because everybody does best movie and worst movie.
Exactly. I might add best streaming actually because there's some good streaming stuff this year. I wrote Sturming, but best Sturming.
Best Sturming, nice.
Yeah. I thought of also maybe doing like a Google Doc and people can vote. But I don't want to make that.
We could do it in the Planet Broadcasting group.
That's true. If I put the topics in, maybe people can, someone can make that.
Incredible.
And then people can vote on this if they want.
That's great stuff.
Probably should have organised.
Wait, so what are you reading this week?
Sorry, Black Mirror.
Yeah, nice.
But I also watched The Jungle Book, the new one.
Oh, Mowgli.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. A lot of people do not like it, but I was. Do not show a kid. They will cry for the rest of their life.
But this is this is not a kids movie.
No.
Huh.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's
the CG is probably not quite there with the other Jungle Book, but they humanize the faces a little bit, so they've got expressions. Like the tiger's terrifying. I find the characters just more compelling in general. It feels like a smaller story, and I think it's more in line with the book. It's so much darker, and I don't think that's what's necessarily better about it. It's like it's darker, so it's better. But I just think it's just a more interesting film.
Right.
And I think if the Jungle Book didn't come out, this would have got a lot more play.
Right,
or it should at least.
Okay, well, I mean, it's on Netflix forever at this point, so
maybe it's because my expectations were so low for it. But no, I thought it was really good.
I watched Andy Serkis's. He goes through his roles on YouTube, his iconic roles. He really gets into the detail. He's a big fan.
Really interesting guy.
He's a big fan of the process. He's not just like, they offered me this role and I took the role and it was fine and I had fun, whatever. He's really like gets into the
minutia.
The minutia of his, and he really loves playing Claw. Apparently,
yes,
so that's good.
That was fun. Yeah,
he was just offered the role in Age of Ultron. Like, hey, do you want to be this guy?
Like a whim, yeah.
And then they were just like, hey, you want to do it again? And it's a great role. So he's good. I like him.
Cuttlefish.
Yes. I haven't seen a lot of the stuff that he's in.
Yeah, right.
Like that one where he's the principal of a. Whatever movie that is, and he does a dance.
13 going on 30.
There we go.
Yeah,
I've not seen it. Yeah.
I'll say this, Mason. How about this for the awards thing, just quickly?
Yes.
If that award voting thing gets made before this episode comes out, I'll link it below.
Very good.
So maybe I'll throw it up in the group.
You are a true philanthropist.
Thank you. I'm not going to make it, but if somebody makes it, I'll link it below.
Are you asking me to make it?
You have to make it.
Oh no!
No, someone better than you will make it.
Yeah, cool. That's a relief. Whew, it's out of my
by
hands.
the way, I should point out Mason gave us the greatest gift of all. He bought a new memory card, one for Claire and one for myself, because we're constantly running out of rooms and memory cards.
They're marked as his and hers.
Yes,
I got them for you for Christmas. Look, it has mystified me for a very long time that you guys, you're doing all right. You're paying off this nice house, but you have one memory card that you argue over. You've been arguing over for as long as I've known you, and I'm just like, can't you just get another one? But it's been this sticking point where you neither of you will buy a new memory card. So
because I bought it, it's my memory card. She lost her memory card.
Well, all right, but
it's still a
now you have one each.
Yeah. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You've probably saved our marriage.
No problem. That's what Christmas is all about,
isn't it? Just all right. Letters. It's time for letters.
It's time for letters. I'll do the letters theme.
It's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you.
Whoop.
Oh no!
Oh no! I thought I was hitting the volume, but I was not.
No.
I'm going to do the whole thing again.
Did you hit lock?
No. Yeah, I did hit lock.
Oh, that's no good.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Great stuff. Nice. What else we got here? Okay, got some letters. If you want to reach the show, #WeeklyPlanetPod on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail. Sorry. What are we saying? What are we doing here?
#WeeklyPlanetPod on Twitter.
Yes.
Just let us know and we'll find it.
And also do the Gmail over to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's the one.
So Mason.
Yes.
Do you want to do a letter or do you want me to do it?
Let's do a letter. Let's have a bloody look at the letters. I've got one ready to go.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. This is from Saul Goodmate.
Yes.
This is the end. This is entitled "The End of the Kaiju Verse." I wanted to ask you, since the Godzilla rights are going back to Japan after the 4th installment of the Kaiju Verse,
are they?
Apparently, back to Toho, I guess. Do you think Legendary or Warner can keep the cinematic universe going without the Japanese properties? Who could they add in? What's a giant thing?
Pacific Rim.
Yes, they could do that, but are they doing that?
No, I don't think so, because that movie didn't make any money.
Some giant things. Maybe they could, add in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Yeah, you could put that in. I think you could put, the big things from around the world, like the big pineapple. We have
big,
a lot of
the big merino sheep. Yep.
The
big banana.
Big koala.
Yeah.
All those kinds
the big
of things.
ones. Yeah.
Is there more big stuff? Because like Mighty Joe Young is also a gorilla.
But he's not that big,
and
is
also
he?
not that big.
He's barely big, is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I mean, the Cloverfield monster.
Cloverfield monster you could put in. Does Legendary own that or be anywhere close to owning that?
I have no
guess they
idea.
could license out anything.
Yeah.
They could add maybe the giant baby from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Throw him in there.
Absolutely, they could. Yeah.
Look, I think this would definitely depend on how successful Godzilla versus King Kong is.
I think that they could extend the license and whatever.
I think they will. Yeah.
I think they've probably already planned that out. If they haven't already, it's probably already happening, and it's also in Toho's best interest, I'd imagine, for these properties to keep making money and merch and
exactly, and then they can fund their weird rubber Superman versions in Japan.
That's right,
which they continue to make inexplicably.
I think that's great. Let me just check giant monster movies.
Yes,
and see if there's any other ones that we've got that aren't.
They could also giant size any existing monsters. Giant Dracula, giant creature from the Black Lagoon.
True. Just giant Tom Cruise as the Mummy.
Giant Tom Cruise as the Mum. Tom Cruise.
He'd love to be 60 feet tall.
He'd submit to some sort of experiment where he actually became giant at the cost of his heart.
No, he'd do that leg stretching.
He would do it,
and
exactly.
Make himself 60
They're
feet
like,
tall.
we can do this. Look, Tom, we can do this for a maximum of about 3 centimeters, and he's like, do it for 60 feet.
I love it.
Yeah. Would they make him fully would they make him proportionally big, or would they just give him enormously long legs?
Do his arms as well.
Yes, arms and legs.
just arms and legs. I'd love it. Okay, so they could do Colossal, that Anne Hathaway movie.
Yeah.
The Host. That's another one. Big Man Japan. I don't know who that is.
They could do Ultraman.
They could do Ultraman.
They could bring in Ultraman.
Isn't that Toho?
I don't think it is Toho. I think it's something
then
else.
maybe you can drop in Power Rangers of Voltron, those kind of
Robotech.
things. Robotech, there you go.
Yeah, look, the amount of giant things in the world is limitless.
A lot of these are just...
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yes, it falls onto Tom Cruise's long legs.
The Rialto Tower.
Yes.
They could come to Melbourne. The Opera House.
Yeah. These are all great things. I think, like I said, I think they'll keep it going. Okay, what else have we got here? This is from Dexter. # Weekly Planet Pod. What do you think of the somewhat deceptive nature that Marvel trailers have turned to with actively creative different shots to trick audiences, especially after all the hype for trailers? Does it make them redundant?
Does it make trailers redundant?
Yes.
I
think most people don't even notice, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Because they're not major changes.
Yeah, and I think also the general public. I think that if you were just like, hey, Avengers 4 is out tomorrow, I think it would take a long time for the general public to catch on.
Yeah, right.
I think it would be, they'd go, oh, this strategy has not worked out. I think trailers are... I think trailers
integral.
They're integral. They're more relevant than ever.
Yeah,
and bus ads, ads on buses. You know,
I saw it.
Yeah. And Instagram ads where you every time you look at a story, every second one's an ad now.
It is, isn't it?
There's so many ads now.
Can you get rid of that?
I don't think so.
Can you help me get rid of that?
You can throw your phone to the ocean.
Okay.
That'll do it.
That probably will. Yeah, I don't think it makes them redundant because I think you just need to get the word out there.
Yeah,
regardless.
And I am much more inclined. I'm enjoying. Maybe I'll get sick of it eventually. But so far, they haven't thrown us enough of a curveball that I'm upset with it.
I only don't like it for, say, like the Fantastic Four, where they blatantly put in scenes that are nowhere near in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like again, for Infinity War, we got the battle on Wakanda. But in the trailer, the Hulk was there, and in this, he wasn't there. Yeah. And I don't think that materially affects the
sometimes
movie.
He's got more stones than others in certain scenes, so you don't know where he's at in the movie. I think it's
which I feel is just trailers will often take scenes out of context or out of order, or they'll put dialogue from certain scenes over scenes that didn't have it or what have you. They'll just mix it all up, and I think that's just an added element to that. I think it's fine so far.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe what will happen at a certain point is that we'll get betrayed by that or something like that.
Probably, where they take it too far.
They take it too far, yeah.
You might be right,
Yeah, and we think Godzilla's going to fight the Opera House, but he's actually going to fight
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, exactly.
That would be good, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Adil says, "Hey Nick and James, how would you choose to do a TV show with Marvel superhero tailor Leo Zielinski, straight drama or fashion reality show? # Weekly Planet."
Oh, I see.
I picked this one out just for you.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah. What do you think?
Should it be a reality show?
Or straight drama?
Or that's a good question.
Or is he getting superheroes turning up and being like, "I need a new costume"?
That's kind of what I would like. I think it would be maybe a case of every week you get a different superhero in.
Yep.
To the tailor shop, and then they tell us their adventure that week, and then we get a flashbacks to it or whatever.
Okay. And could it be like Spider-Man's like, "I need a Sonic suit because I'm fighting a Sonic
villain."
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Sonic suit?
And then maybe we go into his daily life or something like that. I think that'd be fun.
That's good. It's a good idea.
Yeah, we're pretty good, I reckon.
So, and also, what about he's just on a reality show also?
Like a Tim Gunn style.
Yeah, he does 2 things.
Oh, he could do 2 things.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I guess, if you have a character in this Marvel universe, you want him to eventually go out into the wider world and have his own adventure. But I don't know if I would. I think there's a very, when the first Tim Burton Batman movie came out, there was this series of short stories. It was called The Further Adventures of Batman. It was like a novel. It was like
before or after?
This was after the movie came out, I think.
Really?
And it was called The Further Adventures of Batman. I think there were 3 volumes eventually, but it was basically short stories set in various Batman continuities. They weren't all connected,
okay.
But there was one that was set in like the 60s Batman continuity, and there was some set after the Batman movie. But there was a story in there called Neutral Ground, which was set in an area like in a rundown area in Gotham where there's like a crime tailor, and the Riddler and Batman both visit like back to back and get new equipment. Okay, and it's kind of a fun, just fun little look into this universe.
That's a book.
It's a book. It's called The Further Adventures of Batman. It's probably I very much doubt they still print it, but you can probably get it secondhand on like eBay or something like that.
That sounds great, man.
It's good. It's good.
Is that the episode then?
I think that might be the whole episode.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Next week, best and worst things. If we do that rating thing, I'll link it below. You can check it out.
Terrific.
A couple of videos coming up this week, which people might. Yeah, this is from 1989. Yeah, 3.9 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.
Goodreads, that's pretty good. They're unnecessarily harsh over there.
So mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
This looks really interesting.
It's pretty good. I think there's that one, and there's maybe
There's a Catwoman.
There's a Catwoman one, and there might be a villains one or something like that.
Yeah, there's volumes. There's like 3 volumes.
Yeah, there's 3 volumes. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did you say that before that there were 3 volumes?
I did say there were different volumes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, I should have said it louder.
Yeah. There's a Joker one. There's
that's what I'm thinking
2,
of.
It looks like. I think. Great. Take us home, Mason.
Okie dokie. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for telling your friends about it. Thank you for subscribing, giving us a nice review, whether it be on iTunes or on Goodreads.
Yeah.
I just remembered I was on, and I think I mentioned this last week, but I'll mention it again. I was on my friend Daniel Connell's podcast. Take It Easy.
Yeah, that was
give
good.
that a listen if you'd like to. That's on iTunes. You can also, if you want to contact us, you can go to Weekly Planet Pod at Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp. You can also go to the Weekly Planet. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group.
Please do.
You can also go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up for our newsletter.
All
those 3 things are masterminded by our friend Rob Collins. You can follow him on the Weekly Planet on Twitter.
He's currently putting together, or he maybe already has a best of episode that we're putting out for next year.
Nice.
I think we're going to be taking maybe a slightly bigger break next year. I don't know. I'll say.
Okay, then.
We'll talk about it off the air.
Okay, then. You got some irons in the fire.
Always.
Wow. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram.
Yes. I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Nice.
Too many ads.
Nah, it's the correct amount of ads. But we speed through them and we stumble over
for the
them.
Instagram ads.
Oh, yeah, there's too many ads.
The gram. It's too much.
It's the correct amount of ads. Hey, if you'd like to support the show, we would very much appreciate it. You can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if you want to chuck in a buck.
Give us a buck, mate.
Chuck in a buck for Christmas. We've got to feed our children. I don't have any children.
You got to feed my child.
Yeah, it's true. I have to hand feed him like a bird. It's weird. I mush up my food. I give it to him. If you want to chuck in a buck, just whatever you wouldn't miss over the course of a month. If it fell out of your pocket, we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll grab it like a bird.
Give us
like a bowerbird. If you can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description. You click through that. If you buy any Chrissy Prezzies, if you're buying some, it's probably too late for that. But if you're buying
some New Year's Eve gifts,
yeah, we'd bloody appreciate it. You just click through, just buy what you're going to buy anyway, and we get a little kickback from that.
Excellent. So I was just checking the internet to see if there was anything that we've missed. Like, sometimes things come up.
That's true.
Doesn't look like
things we've missed.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much. Also, there might be a Spider-Man trailer at some point before the end of the year, or a Star Wars one apparently, but I have no idea.
All right, then.
Do you know?
No.
Neither of us know.
We don't know.
Thanks, everybody.
Wait, we've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com. The thank you to the Brute, as previously mentioned, and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes.
Of course.
That's it, I think.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, great. No, there's no news.
Thank you for our delightful sponsors
Yes,
every week.
Absolutely. That's true. They keep the lights on.
They feed my children.
They do.
That don't exist, once
Yes,
again.
that's right.
They're not real.
See you next week.
Grab that Jimmy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.